Hello and welcome to this edition of Motivation and Money with me, Mark Terrell, and my co-host Fanny Snaith. How are you today, Fanny?
I'm very good, although with a little cold.
Right,
But
but
hey ho.
but you soldiered on. You turned up, and
Turned up. Yeah, here I am. Sounds worse than it is, to be fair.
good stuff. So we've had a bit of a chat before we went live, and
Yeah.
Fanny has got an interesting topic to talk about today. So I will hand it over to you to.
Which one did we pick? The one about costs, living costs, and motivated to do something now, or the one about investing?
Well, we can probably cover two. I think they're both. So I was going to suggest we talk about our attitude to long term, so getting returns in a long period of time, or having to see a result quickly to make it worth our while. The reason why I thought about it was that it was triggered by a post by Bryony Thomas, who wrote Watertight Marketing. So if you're into marketing, highly recommend reading Bryony's
What's it called?
book.
What's it called?
Watertight Marketing.
Watertight Marketing. Oh, we
Yeah.
can give him a shout out at the end of this.
So she posted out to say that she had had a coaching call and she was talking about risk, and our attitude to risk can sometimes be influenced by the likelihood of it happening. So something that is like, it says the risk, it means that the bigger the risk, the more we think it's never going to happen to us. Meaning small frustrations can be more compelling than huge strategic, life-threatening risks. So it's like we gamble money, like sort of playing the lottery, thinking that there'll be a big reward, but we don't make small incremental investments in the same way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's where all the emotion and pain and all that kind of stuff comes in, though, doesn't it? It's easy to go out and buy a lottery ticket, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you think, well, I've got this ticket, and if it comes in, I've got a big payday.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of that happening is very small. Whereas if you put money aside, that money, that £2 or £3 you might use to play the lottery every week, then that accumulates, and you are more likely to get a return on it. But it comes slowly. A bit like when I talked about my when I go to the gym, I need to feel that I'm making progress. So I use a monitor to tell me that I'm making progress, because it's very difficult to know that you're making any progress. So similar sort of situation to that.
Okay, so I think, I mean, if we were to apply the money types to the lottery player, it's definitely full.
Right.
I mean, if you were going to do your due diligence
Yeah.
on the lottery, you know, it's not worth putting your money in it, is it really?
No, I suppose, but you've got to be in it to win it. So I suppose
You've got to be able to win it, but so if you look at it this way, then, so I've read not hundreds of books on getting rich, but I've read quite a few. Not one of them has ever been rich because of the lottery.
No.
And actually, if you ever look at any stories about people who won the lottery, I would almost put my hand on my heart and say that they were disaster stories rather than success stories.
Most of them are, sad stories that don't end up well, isn't it? Because
you see this, and this is the interesting part, though. So when I started, say, investing and saving and everything, because you can only save £2 if you have £1, right?
Right.
You have to start somewhere, and the motivation comes from that. If you put £1 in a pot and just write the amount savings on it, right on the side, savings on it, you're now a saver. You can call yourself, I am now a saver, albeit only £1. The interesting part of that is because so many people will say, well, I can't afford to save. I can't afford to save, but I can afford to buy the lottery ticket. That's interesting in itself, because the motivation, I guess, is that you're going to get this massive reward, aren't you? If you win the lottery. But chances of winning the lottery are like, I don't know what the chances
about
are.
40 million to 1 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're just ridiculous. But what I find with my clients is if you start small, so let's say you put a penny in a jar, and then by the end of a week you've got 7 pennies in a jar. They look at 7 pennies and they go, oh, I've got 7 pennies in a jar. Next week they might start putting in 10p a day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so they then got they've got what, 10, how much they've got at the end of 77p after 2 weeks. And then they might go, well, actually, I could probably put in 20p a day. So it's motivational by smaller increments to actually then start going. And then all of a sudden, you've got a jam jar full of money that you then count up and you've got a couple of £100 in it. And you go, well, now this is the critical point. So now what do I do with it? And what a lot of people tend to do is they go, oh, let's go and buy this, or let's go and out for dinner or do something like this. And that's when I go, no, don't do this. That's when you can then really start properly investing, because you've got enough to cross over that bridge to then start maybe buying into some index trackers or some managed funds or whatever you choose to do with it, really. And then that's when life starts getting really exciting. And every investor, everybody who grows and builds wealth did that.
Right.
Didn't they?
Yeah. And I think I've read lots of things about the big investors and the ones success basically being consistent, started small, and put the money away and forgot about it, sort of scenario, isn't it? But you were telling me about your group of make money.
Yeah, so I have my online program, which is My Money Makeover, which is running at the moment. And tonight, which is the first time I've done it within the group, tonight is so my aim is to get every single one of the people on the call to be able to be in a position to start investing at the end of tonight.
Right.
That's the plan. Because I believe now that we are given so many opportunities to invest, to be self-investor. Like, you don't have to go and sit in front of a financial advisor if you don't want to. And all, I'm not going to say anything derogatory about financial advisors. They really have a place, but they, with all the due respect to them, they need a certain amount of money to invest with.
Yeah.
And if that's the difficulty, that you haven't got enough money, then it sort of, you end up in a bit of stalemate, really. And a lot of people sort of go, well, I can't go and talk to a financial advisor, so I'm sort of stuck. And my point is you're not stuck. You can step out of that situation and step into an investing scenario very, very easily. So that's my plan. But so I'm crafting the session now. And yeah, I've got a bit of information to give them, like what's the difference between a stock and a share, and what's an index, and some, some basic stuff. But I said, just fire questions at me. And it was interesting that people own investments and have no idea what they are. People have money in the bank and know they should be doing something with it, but don't even know what to do with it. So it's just sort of there. Or people have been gifted money or given shares, but it all seems a bit too complicated. So I've sold those. And or just all those kind of things, which is really, really interesting psychologically. So I'm going to try and demystify it and make it so that people can get motivated to start to learn. I mean, I started off, I don't know, are you an investor, Mark?
I'm not in stocks and shares anymore. I used to be. I used to have a few, which I don't know why I'm not into it. It's not a conscious decision, I don't think. But investment-wise, it's more
isn't
about
it, with you?
bricks and mortar.
All in crypto.
Hey, what's that?
It's all in crypto for you, isn't it?
No, no, bricks and mortar. It was drummed into me by my dad, by bricks and mortar and all that jazz. So yeah, but as we discussed earlier, I mean, it's when you have properties, they have to be maintained, and if they've got tenants in, you've got to make sure that they, you don't have too much time where the properties are empty. Otherwise, it becomes expensive very quickly. And so, people think that property and owning property is an easy way out, but actually it takes time investment and work and all those sort of things that you would with any other job. You've got to take it seriously.
Yeah, it's a business.
Yeah.
Looking after your money is a part-time business.
Right.
If you see it as that, I think if you look at it that, you might get a little bit more motivated to look at it. Don't you think?
On a part-time basis.
Yeah. Money,
Yeah.
look, your money,
Yeah.
and your money
Yeah.
is a part-time business.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. So yeah, make it as part of your it's like a part-time role. Yes. Yes. That's a good way of looking at it, isn't it? So it's a little job on the side, little
Yeah.
side hustle.
Yeah.
They call it, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And when we're talking about now and people being motivated to doing it, so I was in a workshop on Saturday and Sunday last weekend just gone, and it was a situation of, right, let's get you calculating your money flow, your money coming in, your money going out. Let's do it now, like now, right now. And then we started it with them, and then they went home and did the home play overnight, and then came in the next morning. Actually, people did do much, much more than we expected. But how long does it last? This is the thing, isn't it? We have to get the motivation to look after our money all the time.
Well, yeah, but I'm quite I'm not a very patient investor. I want to see that something's happening.
That's
So I don't know what that would put me as in your
okay.
archetypes.
Well, impatient. Nothing wrong with him. The thing is, there's nothing wrong. Well, impatient. You're impatient. You want to get rich quick.
No, I think it's more about I'm more likely to do something that's got a little bit more risk involved, I suppose, to get a higher return quicker than I am to do something. Hey,
I knew you were in crypto.
I'm not. I'm not at all. I wish I had. I'd got somebody told me to buy Bitcoin. I don't know what it was, about 5 years ago. I wish I had bought them then.
You know, I mean, I'm never going to. I'm learning how to make money with crypto. I'm learning very, very slowly but surely. Playing with pennies really, and I made 5% in one day yesterday.
Wow!
So if I put in £1,000, I would have got 50 quid
in one day. That's amazing.
In one day. So then if I put in then 1,050 the next time, obviously there's a bit of fees to come off that. So that shows. But in order to do something, see, the thing is, I think, what about discussing this then? When people want to get results quickly, when it comes to fitness, you know you've got to do the work, right? So you know that if you want to lose weight or gain weight, you've either got to gorge yourself, starve yourself, and go out and run 45 marathons or sit on the couch and watch Netflix, right? Whichever way you want to go. So that's quite a very personal thing. But I think quite often when it comes to money and wanting results quickly, they want to just give it to somebody else and do it.
Yeah, that's definitely... and not necessarily with investing, but I'm a bit, I'm always looking for someone that can sort of speed it up a bit, and so that I can see results quicker. It's a bit like marketing. Going back to marketing, we're all looking for that marketing sort of system that will will make things a lot easier and things will happen quicker. But actually, marketing really is about being consistent more than anything.
And does that then bring us round full circle?
Yes.
To say that everything is about consistency. So we look at things like James Clear, Atomic Habits, The Slight Edge, Jeff Olson. Have you read that?
No, I haven't actually. It's on my list. I've got it on my list, yeah.
Which is just about making those tiny, tiny, tiny incremental changes.
Yes.
To actually, to get those results. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know lots of people who've made a lot of money in Ponzi schemes.
Yeah.
In the early years.
That's what I can say. They get in early and then they get out before it all gets nasty.
But it's dirty money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been done in Ponzi schemes. I've fallen foul to them. So I can speak from experience. Where
Yeah.
you think, oh, this one's really great, this is really good, and it takes you a little while till you go, oh God, this is just a Ponzi scheme. However, we'll just keep it going for a bit, and then you turn your computer on and the website's gone.
Yeah.
Just gone. So what's the I have to say, when people take my money type quiz, and if they have a certain, like maybe high victim, high innocent, and then they book in for a money type consultation with me, oftentimes, I'm not going to say always, oftentimes, they will literally just sit there and wait for me to give them a magic pill.
Yeah. Tell me what to do. Yeah.
No, not even tell me what to do, because they won't do it anyway.
What? So what? You'll do it for them?
Well, they'll just expect me to come up with some great, like this thing. Because I say to them, well, what do you expect me to say? And they go, well, don't know. I go, well, how much work are you prepared to put in? How much have you got time and money to invest? No.
Interesting.
Where are we going from here then?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah. What is the general answer there? Is it like embarrassment, and I just wanted to find out what you could do for me? So
I'll be honest with you, I'm not usually quite so direct, to be fair. Maybe I should be, but I'm not usually quite so direct. But that's really the sort of the summary of the conversation.
Yeah.
They just want somebody to have a moan at.
Yeah.
Have a little, tell them your woes. I get it. I get it, and I completely understand we've got woes, but if you want to get those results, you do actually have to do something about it.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you say to people that start talking like money goes to money and all that sort of stuff? What's your reaction when people start talking about
money goes to money?
Yeah,
it's true.
It is true.
You're absolutely right. And how's that working out for you?
Yeah.
I mean, you could tax the rich as much as you want and give it to the poor. It will still end up back in the rich pot.
Yeah.
Because it's all down to mindset.
Yeah. Find a way.
Yeah, it's all down to mindset and the motivation. I think it comes back to the same thing, Mark. It comes back to our identity again and how we see ourselves. And if we see ourselves as somebody who is going to have to have a prince or a princess, if you're married to Richie Sunak's wife, you're going to have a lottery win, or some distant relative from Nigeria is going to send you an email telling you, madam, how much we send our bank, this is how much you've inherited, and would you like your money? There's going to be, if you're waiting for your Prince Charming windfall, whatever, you're going to become stuck.
Yeah.
Because, and the reason for this is if you have that kind of attitude that everything always works out for me, and you also are waiting for your fairy prince or whatever, chances are something will come along, because there's no way that you're going, everything always works out for me, and sitting on the telly eating donuts and watching Netflix. The chances are you're talking to people, doing stuff, doing something to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's that law of attraction thing. Is law of attraction isn't about just sitting around doing something. It's just that you activate something, and those things do tend to come towards you because you are doing things to allow them to happen. So yeah, absolutely get that. Yeah.
I mean, it's science.
Yeah.
It's science. Yeah. So let's going back to these small wins. So I did a crypto trade, this 5%, right?
Mm-hmm.
This 5% that I did was on a total sum I invested of $66.
Right.
Okay. So how much did I get back? So 66.
5% on 6. £3.
Yeah, 6 times 5%. $3.3.
Yeah.
Right. So do you think that I could sit here and go, well, what's the point of that? Could do, couldn't I?
You could.
However, 5%, and then I could put the $3 back in the pot and do it again. There's probably a calculator online that if I was to do 5% a day, that could grow probably quite quickly, couldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's the same as like recently where interest rates have been so low, and if you've got money in an ISA, say the maximum of whatever it is, 25 grand or whatever it is,
20 grand.
20 grand.
Not cash ISA, I hope, but yeah.
They're so low that actually just moving it is hardly getting you anything, is it? I mean, you talk about what 0.5% you might gain.
Yeah, but if you've got money in a cash ISA, if you've got 20 grand sitting in a cash ISA, I'd be a bit more worried about it than that. Because nobody should have any money in cash ISAs really anymore. That's sticking my neck out a little bit. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving advice. No. However, what's the point? You're going to get a better interest rate at the bank than cash ISAs. Cash ISAs were only important when they didn't have this taxable, you can earn £1,000 interest before you pay tax now.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not so irrelevant as they used to be.
Well, they're not relevant anymore.
Relevant at all now.
No, I mean, God, you can't to earn £1,000 interest on putting cash into an ISA. I don't. Well, not much. I don't know how much you'd have to have.
It's about £2 million, wouldn't you?
No, it's like, why would you do that? And it's just.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but the point is, I suppose I got a small return on my $66, but for me, it's just about the win.
Yeah.
And it's actually knowing how I can do it, that I can do it, that it is possible.
Right.
So if I was then playing the same game with $1,000 and it was 50 quid margin profit, that gets a little bit more exciting, right?
It does, but the thing is, what we've always got to remember with this stuff is that it's like the gamblers that go to the horse racing and only tell you when they win. You've obviously got to be able to take the losses as well, and they've got to be taken in the same spirit, haven't they? So that
yeah, except that on the kind of thing that I'm doing is I'm not actually. I mean, I can afford to leave the money in there. So that's the next thing is I'm only gambling with money that I can afford to not have for a little while. And you're doing it on kind of currencies that you sort of think aren't going to die. But there is obviously a gambling essence in there.
Yep.
But I don't think Bitcoin's going to go to zero.
No, you wouldn't have thought so. But, who would have thought Twitter will be bought by Elon Musk? But
has it actually been bought by him now?
Well, it seems like we're talking about it as if it's the done deal, but yeah.
But it's not even. I was looking a little bit into this. I was sort of vaguely interested, but he doesn't have that money, has he? He's borrowed most of it, hasn't he?
Well, they're talking about it's a cash deal. So what does that mean? That he's managed to get cash somehow by borrowing money? But
Twitter doesn't even make any money, does it?
No, but obviously he's got bigger plans.
But this is all crazy stuff.
Well, he wants it to be the platform where it's more people can say what they feel. So there's less censorship, but that's going to be tricky because there's laws and in every country that he's going to fall foul with regards to what people can say and what they can't say. So, well, it'll be interesting. Anyway, it's a bit of a sidetrack there, but we are getting towards the end of our 30 minutes chat. If anybody's listening, there has been some few people join us. Feel free to join in if you've got any questions. I
was also going to say something about marketing. Going back to the marketing thing, I had a new client come on board yesterday, and it was the first time that we met. On Zoom, and she just booked in with a consultation with me, etc. And I generally feel that it's nice to meet somebody a few times before people are going to commit to quite a large program with me.
Yeah.
But from her point of view, she was saying, "But I've been following you for ages."
Yeah.
And I'd just done a 2-day workshop with her, so she saw me there and typing in questions and all that sort of thing. So when you say you're looking for sort of the get rich quick scheme, it really is about building up consistency and that know, like, and trust, isn't it? And so that
Yeah.
when it's like the same thing when you go, I don't know about you, but I tend to be a bit of probably an over researcher when I go to buy things. I'll look at it. So when I go into the shop to buy it, I just want to buy it because I know I want it.
Right. What am I? I'm quite impulsive, actually.
Are you?
Mm.
What has been your last impulsive purchase of over 300 quid? Ish.
It's generally tech of some sort.
Is it? Are you a shiny object person?
I like I like tech. Yeah, I like things that are a bit clever, do things. What's the last time I spent over 300 quid on something? iMac, I suppose. My Mac.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I bought an iPad.
Yeah, you bought a second-hand one, didn't you, from your mate? So
Yeah, I bought a second-hand one. But I bought a brand new Apple Pencil.
yeah, they're
That was
good.
£109. That does make me laugh,
Your pencil's more than you would pay for your iPad, is it?
No, I paid a bit more for
They're really
it.
good. I use them pretty much all. I've got one, and I use it when I'm with explaining stuff. They're great because you can obviously write on the iPad
Great.
screen.
Yeah, and I use all my client notes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like it. No, it's very good.
Mm.
So where are we? Let's do a summary.
Yeah. So attitudes towards long term and short term is linked, I think, for me, to whether you want to see a quick return or a you're happy to let it grow, forget about it. That was one thing that came out of that discussion, I think.
That's when we were talking about investments.
Mm-hmm.
But I think generally you have to be long-term consistent in order to reap rewards.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
But I think, do you know what though? But as you're going through long-term consistent, you get a certain kind of knowledge whereby along the way there could be little opportunities where you can pick off low-hanging fruit.
Right.
Maybe that works. Do you know what I mean? Because when you sort of start to get to know about things and get to know about how, I mean, like for instance, if you're marketing in business and you've got a great huge program, a big program that you want to, online course or something that you're marketing, there might be an opportunity along the way to just have a little sort of workshop where people pay a few quid for or whatever, and they can come and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's like that step thing. Give something away free content, like we're doing now, free content, and then people might want to spend a few quid on something, like buy a book or buy a short course, and they sort of generally step into. They don't tend to go from 0 to thousands. That's probably unlikely, but it's allowing those steps to make those steps as easy and as obvious as possible, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, consistency. I think the message from what we're talking about here, whether it's marketing, whether it's investing, it's consistency. Commit to it, and realize that it goes. Some things will be obvious that you've got a return on. Other times, not so obvious, but it's been that you're turning up and doing things that you are adding to. What would you call that? Almost like the collateral that you're building up with regards to marketing, and the same with investing. You're learning as you go along.
Yeah, that's probably about right. And then eventually, if you do something for long enough, consistently enough, you become expert at it, which helps you to change your identity as to how you see yourself and what you do and what you can achieve in life, and then allows you to go and do something with the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, Genius. We better wrap up, haven't we?
Well, we just solved the world.
Yes. So you'll see on the credits at the end where you can find us. Me at thereluctantleader.academy and Fanny at fannysnaith.com.
Yeah.
For me, I have been talked about it for a little while. My Motivated Business Club is now out there. So I'll put a link below here if you're interested in checking that out, looking for some founder members for that. So if you think that having a business that is based on motivation, that's your own, and also those that you employ and work in the business, then check that out. And if you want to book a call with me and explain a bit more about that, then feel free to do that. And what about you, Fanny? Anything else that's new in your world?
No, really, the only new thing is I'm setting a date of the 5th of July for the next My Money Makeover.
Oh, okay.
That's the thought.
That's
And the
it,
fact
yeah.
that I've got room for one more couple and one more one-to-one
Right.
coming up. That's about all.
So if you need some help with your money stuff, then you know where to find Fanny. Great stuff. Right, got a dash. Got some other things I've got to do. So thanks again, Fanny.
Take
Enjoyed
it
it
easy.
as always.
Have a lovely rest of your afternoon, everybody, or evening, or whenever you're watching this.
Yep. Whenever you catch it, and please leave some comments, and we will get back to you. Until next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.